Do you think it's possible to die and still be alive? A review of the film drama The Lovely Bones will give us the answer. The story takes place in 1973 in a small town in Pennsylvania. Susie is 14 years old and lives with her parents, younger sister Lindsay, and little brother in a large, cozy house. Her life could be described as practically perfect. Susie recalls her childhood, a snow globe with a penguin, a camera she got for her birthday, a trip with her dad, and her worst memory the day her little brother almost choked to death. Then she drove the baby to the hospital herself, stealing her parents' car. Grandma Linz predicted that Susie would live happily ever after, since she had saved her brother. But she was wrong. At the mall, Susie sees a cute guy named Ray, who goes to the same school as her. She's very attracted to him, and her grandmother notices. She tells Susie about her first kiss. According to her grandmother, this became one of her best memories. Susie has no idea that at this time, one of her neighbors was meticulously planning her murder. He was drawing a map, digging in the cornfield, sharpening knives. After watching Othello at the school film club, Susie unexpectedly runs into Ray in the hallway. He asks her about her impressions of the film. Susie is completely confused. Ray tells the girl she's beautiful and asks her out on a Saturday night at the mall. The guy wants to kiss Susie. It looks like dreams do come true. But at that moment, something goes wrong. An enraged art teacher bursts into the hallway, scolding one of the students, Ruth, for her overly explicit drawings. He interrupts the students and sends them off to class. Looks like she'll have to wait until Saturday. On her way home, through the cornfield, Susie meets her neighbor, George Harvey. He wants to show her the shelter, an underground playhouse he built for children. At first, Susie refuses, but Harvey manages to persuade her. Susie descends into the underground playhouse. It's pretty gloomy there. Strange toys, candles, drawings, figurines, angels. Plus, Harvey's starting to get noticeably nervous. His anxiety is contagious to Susie. More than anything, she wants to get away from here. But Harvey won't let her go. He gives the girl a soda, takes off his jacket, and asks the girl to do the same. Harvey tells Susie she's cute. The girl is very scared. She tries to climb up the stairs, but Harvey grabs her and drags her inside. Susie kicks him in the face and escapes. She runs through a cornfield, then along a forest path, passing the same girl, Ruth, who was scolded by the art teacher the day before. Meanwhile, Susie's parents are restless, searching for their daughter. The girl's father is running around town with her photograph. Her mother is calling the police. Susie herself hurries home, but something is happening. Something very strange. The world around her becomes too unreal. The girl sees her father. Her father shouts at him, but he neither sees nor hears her. Susie runs home and calls for her parents. She hears her mother talking to the detective and realizes no one is noticing her. The girl is haunted by terrifying visions. Dirty, bloody clothes scattered everywhere. A man's body in the bathroom. A broken sink, covered in blood. Susie's bracelet is on the sink. She seems to be beginning to suspect something. At that moment, the man in the bathroom rises. It turns out to be Harvey. Susie starts screaming. In the next scene, detectives find the hat Susie was wearing the day she disappeared. It was buried in a cornfield. The police also found traces of blood. A lot of blood. The parents are hysterical, but they still believe their daughter is alive. Meanwhile, Harvey destroys evidence, burns his clothes, washes everything. He hides his bloody boots. A detective comes to see him, but finds nothing suspicious. Susie feels like life is leaving her, but she's not afraid. And then she remembers that she still has one unfinished business on Earth. She never went on a date with Ray. Instead of Susie, Ruth comes to see Ray one day. She gives Ray a piece of paper with a poem she found in the woods the day before. He's very surprised because Ray wrote the poem for Susie. Ruth believes Susie is still here. It turns out that when Susie left this world, her soul touched Ruth. And after that, Ruth began to sense her presence. Susie finds herself in a beautiful place between worlds. And yet, she's sending her father signals that she's still here, despite the pleas of another dead girl's spirit to move on and not look back. Susie isn't ready for this yet. She wants to go home. She keeps an eye on her killer and realizes he'll kill again and again. The worst part is that Harvey starts keeping tabs on her younger sister, Lindsay. Could she become the maniac's next victim? Susie's father begins his own investigation. He's convinced his daughter is a very intelligent girl, and she wouldn't go anywhere with a stranger. This means the perpetrator is someone Susie knew. The girl's father is asking the police to check all the neighbors, especially those who behave strangely. But there are no leads. The murder investigation is at a dead end. The problem is, the girl's body has never been found, because Harvey hides it in a safe in his basement. 11 months have passed. Susie's mother still misses her daughter deeply. On her grandmother's advice, she leaves for California, where she takes a new job. Grandma Lynn moves in with the Selmans and looks after the children. She's very cheerful and modern, and she doesn't let her grandchildren be sad. The children truly look happy next to her, and yet, they can't forget their sister. They constantly feel her presence. Lindsay gets a boyfriend. Susie watches their first kiss, and she's sad that she'll never have that experience herself. Susie keeps an eye on Ray. He often thinks about the dead girl, but he spends more and more time in Ruth's company. Soon, Ruth and Ray begin dating. Susie's father gradually develops the films his daughter once took, and in one of the photographs, he notices Harvey. He decides that this man is Susie's killer. He comes to Harvey and tries to attack him. However, Harvey hides in his house. The investigator reminds him that the police have no evidence of his guilt. But Susie's father feels that Harvey is involved in the murder, and he decides to avenge his daughter himself. One day, seeing Harvey walking into the cornfield, Susie's father rushes after him with a baseball bat. He frantically searches for Harvey in the tall thickets. However, he accidentally attacks a couple in love and is severely beaten. The man miraculously survives. Susie blames herself for what happened to her father. She realizes that no matter how much she loved him, he was the one who did it. She needs to let him go. But Harvey himself feels a renewed urge to kill. His choice falls on the lenses. Meanwhile, Susie, in her world, learns that she was far from Harvey's first victim. He had already killed several girls before her. The youngest of them was only 6 years old. Susie comes to Harvey's house and remembers that her body is still in the safe in the killer's basement. Meanwhile, the town goes about its business as usual. Only Lindsay is constantly worried. She notices that their neighbor, Mr. Harvey, he's constantly watching her, and he begins to suspect him. Lindsay breaks into Harvey's house, and in the hiding place, he finds a notebook with drawings. In it, the man kept a diary of Susie's murder. It describes the crime plan in detail, and even a lock of Susie's hair is glued on. Lindsay is horrified. Meanwhile, Harvey returns home. The girl realizes she's in grave danger and jumps out the window. Harvey tries to catch up with her, but he doesn't succeed. Lindsay runs home and sees that her mother has returned. Not wanting to ruin the happy moment of her parents' reunion, she doesn't tell her parents anything, and he gives the killer's diary to his grandmother. The police arrive at Harvey's house, but the man has already managed to escape, and even dumped the safe with Susie's body into a pit on the outskirts. At that moment, Ruth and Ray spot him, and Ruth realizes it's somehow connected to the missing girl. Between worlds, Susie meets the souls of other murdered girls, and they invite her to join them in heaven. She feels ready for this, but she decides to return one last time. There's unfinished business waiting for her on Earth. Susie enters Ruth's body to experience her first kiss with Ray. While kissing Ruth, Ray sees Susie in front of him, and again he tells her she's beautiful. The girl smiles happily. Peace gradually returns to Susie's family. Her parents return to their normal lives, and Lindsay is expecting a baby. A new life is being born from her sweet bones, no less beautiful than her own. And what about Harvey? Did he manage to escape justice? Fortunately, no. The man is moving to another city, and one evening he sees a girl smoking in a deserted place. Harvey offers her a ride, but she rudely refuses and walks away. At that moment, a huge icicle falls on Harvey. He slips and falls off a steep cliff. Susie's mother enters her daughter's room, and he says he loves her. Susie realizes she's finally ready to go. She's grateful for her wonderful, albeit short, life, and he wishes everyone a long and happy life. Do you think this ending can be called a happy ending? Did the producers manage to tell a sad story in a way that leaves the viewer with hope for the best? Or is this film designed to shed tears? Share your thoughts. Be sure to like it if you enjoyed our review. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click the bell. Lots of great reviews of the best films await you. Stay tuned.